there, it's surprising just how many accidents at work arise from slips, trips or falls. Many inadvertently caused by us and many leading to permanent or long-lasting injury to the unfortunate victim. Fortunately for us, serious accidents are very rare. However, in even the best run offices, they happen. Hi, my name's Justine Gale and I'm joining you today to talk about health and safety. For most of us, it's not always the first thing we think about when going about our day-to-day work. We're made aware of health and safety regulations through the Health and Safety Manual, staff notice boards and on induction. But more often than not, that's just about as much consideration as it gets. So let's now talk to the Property Director and the Health and Safety Manager to see what they've got to say.
Hi Justine.
Hi there, Nigel.
Justine.
Hi Mike. Now Nigel, you're the group's Property Director, which includes responsibility for health and safety. Tell us a little bit about the company's commitment to health and safety and the importance that it plays. Mike, you're the head of health and safety, so is that right? It's the company's responsibility?
Yes, it's the company's ultimate responsibility to manage health and safety, and they are held accountable. But everyone has to play a part.
Nigel, who's responsible on a day-to-day basis?
Very simply, everyone, from our CEO to our most junior member of staff.
Thanks Nigel, and thanks Mike.
Thank you.
Most of what you need to know, including contact details, can be found in our Health and Safety Manual, on company notice boards or through our intranet service. But right now, you have a choice. Just select the option from the following menu that best describes your role or workplace. Hello again. Whether you work in our stores, warehouses or offices, you, as part of the management team, are accountable for health and safety in your workplace. Although certain safety activities can be delegated to staff, the ultimate responsibility is yours. To a large extent, risk assessment is based on your own experience and personal judgment. But to help you make that judgment, there is the Store Risk Assessment Guide. Let other team members know about the hazard and report it for repair to the building's maintenance help desk, stressing that it's a health and safety issue. Guidance on these issues can be found in the Store Risk Management file. Hello again. When it comes to health and safety in the workplace, there are a number of issues to be considered, none more so than fire safety. In the event of a fire, you must observe your store's emergency fire safety plan. Whether you're new to the store or not, make sure that all fire exits, fire doors and alarm points are kept clear of anything likely to get in your way. If you come across any obstruction, don't ignore it. Take ownership and sort the problem out. If you're the one that discovers a fire, immediately raise the alarm by shouting "Fire, fire, fire" and activating the fire alarm. The alarm is activated by hitting and breaking the little glass window here. It's very thin glass, and when it breaks, a small button is released which triggers the alarm. As a last resort, use your elbow or the heel of your shoe. If you feel confident using a fire extinguisher, make sure you choose the right one for the job and that you're familiar with the operating instructions. It's important. Use the wrong one or use it incorrectly and it either won't work or you could electrocute yourself. Let's look at the different types. Make sure that if you attempt to put the fire out, that you tackle it with your exit behind you so you can escape safely at any time. Ideally, have another colleague with you. Only have one attempt to extinguish the fire. As soon as the fire is out or the extinguisher is empty, make your way to the fire assembly point and make your presence known to the manager in charge. You must follow directions of the fire brigade and don't re-enter the building until permission has been given by the fire brigade. Although thankfully rare, accidents and sudden illnesses in store do happen. In this event, report it to the nearest first aider or appointed person. If you can't find one, inform management who might ask you to call for an ambulance. Hi Scott.
Hi Justine.
You're the store manager. Now, with the ladders, what exactly are you checking for and what's the correct way to use them?
Okay, with the ladders, what we're checking for is that it's in the right position to be used and the right condition. We need to make sure it's fully extended, that's with the stays, there's no bends in the steps, straight down and rubbers on the feet.
Okay, now if you've got a bulky load and you need to put it on a high shelf, what should you do?
Well, again, with that, what we need to do is make sure we don't go above the top 3 steps and that we use another colleague to help us with that.
Okay, great. Now with the kick step, what are you checking for with that and what's the correct way to use it?
Again, the first thing that we're checking for with these is that it's in the right condition to be used. So we need to make sure that it's got all the wheels attached and that there's no cracks around the skirt at the bottom. When we're going to use it, we put it in position and put the step in the middle.
Great, thank you. Now the cages, do they pose any safety risks?
Occasionally with the cages, we'll receive it with wire mesh protruding out. What we need to do is fold it up, attach one of these repair labels and send it back to the DC.
Okay, thank you very much. So, although the equipment is inspected on a regular basis, it's up to you to make your own check every time you use it. Remember, be safe, not sorry. Have you ever thought what manual handling actually is? Well, it's pushing, pulling, lifting or moving any load by bodily force. So you could say that you do this every day, all day, at work and at home. At work though, we have to give you the tools and training to do it safely. Remember, you have control, so if the load is too heavy or bulky, break it down into easier to handle loads. Stock trolleys and cages are also provided, so use them. It makes the job much easier. And get to know the Health and Safety Manual Handling Assessment and the actions to take to reduce the risk of injury. So, just to reiterate, whether you're pushing, pulling or lifting, test the weight. And if in doubt, ask for help. Slip and trip accidents are statistically the highest for customers in our stores and the general retail environment, many causing long-lasting or permanent injury, even fatalities. Fortunately for us, these types of accidents are very rare. However, even in the best-run stores, they happen. You'll find all you need to know in the Pharmacy Standard Operating Procedures. The manual is kept in the unit and it's available at any time. Falling from a height in the office is rare, but there's a tendency on the part of some to use a chair instead of the proper equipment when trying to retrieve objects that are out of reach. For most of you, there's probably not a lot of lifting involved in your day-to-day work. Most injuries occur to those who are untrained or not used to lifting large or heavy items. When it comes to a really serious emergency, such as a fire, you must be aware of and observe your office emergency fire safety plan. Make sure that you know where the fire exits are and the fire extinguishers and the hoses, the fire alarm and the fire assembly points. Now the fire marshals have been trained to use the fire extinguishers and the hoses, so don't try to fight the fire yourself. And of course, make sure that all fire exits and equipment are always kept clear. If you discover a fire, raise the alarm immediately by shouting "Fire, fire, fire" and activating the fire alarm by breaking the glass. Pete, you're the General Manager for the Northern Region Distribution Centre. How important is health and safety within the DC?
It's important across the DC that health and safety is promoted within our team.
Great, thanks. Now, Tony, you're the General Manager for the Southern Region DC. What are the benefits of managing health and safety within the DC?
The benefits to us as a business and to our staff are many and varied. Providing a safe working environment helps our staff to carry out their duties in a...
Great. Pete, why is it important to get the engagement and the involvement of employees within the DC?
Well, health and safety is everybody's responsibility. Gone is the old adage of management responsibility only.
And make sure you and any of your visitors are wearing one of these high-vis jackets. Sonia, you're the Health and Safety Advisor for the Southern Region DC. Now, can you tell us what the two-bay rule exactly is and how does it work?
Well, the two-bay rule was put in place for FLTs, which is our forklift trucks.
Whatever your job in the warehouse or yard, you must make sure any tools or equipment you use are 1, in good order, 2, fit for purpose, and 3, used in line with the safe system of work. De-topping can be dangerous without the right protection. So, if you want to keep all parts of your body intact, make sure you use company-issued knives and only when wearing a cut-resistant glove or gauntlet. If you don't stick to these rules, disciplinary action will be taken against you. It's for your own benefit. Now, Dave,
Yes.
How do you make sure that you don't cut yourself when you're opening the box and that you don't damage the contents inside?
Well, first of all, you make sure the knife is sharp and that you're wearing protective gloves and gauntlets, and you cut away from your body, like so. Open the body, job done.
Great. And are they special knives?
Yes, they're company issued, and they're retractable safety knives, which are quite easily open.
Great. And the blade on them, what happens when that needs changing?
When it becomes blunt, you have a safety box here. You take the blade out of the knife and dispose of it into the unit. Go to your team leader, and he'll issue you with another blade.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It goes without saying that working in or around the lorry bays poses potential risks. So it's important to take care when working in or near the bays, especially around the scissor lift, which is used to load the mega deck trailers. Accidents around the bays tend to happen when safety rules have been ignored. So be aware and fully up to speed on all the safety notices and instructions. When it comes to any type of emergency, such as a fire, explosion or serious accident, you should always observe your building's fire evacuation procedures. So, what if the fire alarm sounds? Evacuate the building immediately. Fire marshals are trained to use the fire extinguishers, so don't attempt to put the fire out yourself. Leave the area and head to the assembly point, making sure you close any doors behind you. Fire drills take place twice a year. Take them seriously and remember, unless you're told otherwise, all alarms must be treated as genuine and you must evacuate the building immediately. Statistically, most accidents within the DC are caused through manual handling or mishandling. Back injuries are chronic injuries, meaning that the condition will affect you and what you do for the rest of your life. Some injuries are disabling. As much of your work involves manual handling on a regular basis, we will provide you with practical training on the equipment. Make sure that any equipment you use is in good working order. Always do a visual check before you use it. The chances are that since you're involved in manual handling on a regular basis, you'll have been supplied with protective clothing and footwear, like mine. Remember, it's for your benefit to wear it. It's surprising just how many accidents at work arise from slips, trips or falls, often causing permanent or long-lasting injury. Fortunately for us, these types of accidents are rare, but even in the best-run warehouse, they can happen. The odd spillage of water or other relatively harmless liquid should be cleaned up immediately. Follow the wet floor policy. Stick with it. Get help and use the spillage kits located at the ends of the aisle to contain any liquid spills. Don't just walk by. Take ownership of the incident until you can pass it on to the correct person to deal with it. If in doubt, ask for assistance from the dedicated housekeepers. Trips tend to occur through objects like these, which have been left lying around. One last thing to remember, contractors and visitors are not exempt from our health and safety procedures. They are required to behave and work in a safe and responsible manner, just like you. And finally, if you see anything dangerous or unsafe, bring it to the attention of your manager or supervisor. Often regarded as unimportant, the management of waste and the health and safety issues it presents is of increasing importance to those at the DCs that have to deal with it.